Our architecture firm, first and foremost, is based on exploring an authentic approach to design. Contextualism is an extremely important part. And what I mean by that, I talk about contextualism, humility, reinforcing important values that we see, of course, deference for the environment wherever possible. These are things that for us are good design. Hi, I'm Kenneth Holder with Holder Parlette Architects. We are currently at a house that we refer to as the Sonoma Ridge Residence. Most of the homes that we do are often in vineyards, actually. And that's how our client, I think, originally found us. Sonoma is known for its tradition of vineyards and grape growing, and it has a very strong agrarian vernacular influence, and I think you'll see that in this project. It exists on a long, thin, narrow ridge line at the top of a mountain outside of Sonoma, California. A series of live oaks sort of gently dotted the ridge of the site. And we immediately started thinking about how to basically preserve as much of that as possible in a responsible way. I guess the main point was that we had to sort of educate and work with the owners and say, well, you've seen houses that are in one particular context. This more rugged, rural site, and with all of its organic influence, we felt like it was important to vary the style, vary the approach. The house was organized as a series of pavilions off of a central spine. Bedroom pavilion, guest wing, and then of course this really amazing living room. So the house is organized in a way that's a gentle path as you come down from the front door, down towards this amazing view. But each space, each of these pavilions bears a certain influence from the barns and the agrarian structures you see on the way here. We feel like it would be really amiss not to make it integral to what we do. Rugged materials, barn wood, metal, stone, concrete. Steel windows, big, broad panes of glass that sort of evoke older structures. Things that are durable but have their own elegance. So we really studied them. Each wing of the house, or each branch on the central spine, has its own aesthetic that ties it back to this barn structure. But the main living room is what really reflects that the strongest. It has very strong steel details, big open span, but it's still a simple form. The house was intended to have its own modesty, and every aspect of it hopefully frames a view, heightens your awareness of the site and the context beyond. When you arrive at a site like this and you see these magnificent old growth oak trees with their own incredible sculptural beauty, their own elegance, and their sense of both fragility, but also there's a permanence. And so when you're doing initial sketching and initial studies, you can't help but be influenced by the organic nature of the site. One of the strongest design elements, I think, in a Holder Parlette design is the flow between inside and out. And of course, that term gets used continuously in contemporary design. The way we express it is actually doing both the architecture and the landscape design itself. When we're given that opportunity, we just feel it's easier, it's more direct to have a collaboration between the two aspects. So it ends up creating what I think of as a really natural relationship. So much of the way we organize our houses are about the outdoor experiences. And outdoor spaces are used extensively. Almost every decision we make is based on walking across that threshold. What is it like to go outdoors? And so that's one of the reasons that almost all of our houses have large walls of glass that often, like here, disappear into pockets, and say on a warm sunny afternoon, you have just an entire missing wall that opens up to the outdoors. And we love how that can soften that threshold, that it's not such a harsh line inside to out. design is a really powerful organizing principle. If you place that first, not to say devoid of economic and construction realities, but to really stay true to a cohesive design, getting clear from the outset what you want to say, can help organize all of the decisions that come from there. So that gave us a tremendous clarity, and I think the clarity is what helped this house become what it is.
This video is brought to you by Lamana, the exclusive manufacturer of Ishinomaki Laboratory in the Philippines. Designer furniture that is made locally, made by hand, and made to last. www.lamanaph.com. For more insightful videos on design, subscribe to Design Will Save the World.